Do we have one or two call-in numbers?
We don't have any. Oh, you're talking about the VMix call? Yeah, we have two. And we can have more if you want them. The only screen I have set up is for two other callers. All right, here we go. Going live.
We couldn't find gayer music, so we used that.
What the hell? Sorry.
Why is it always a horn section when you're doing stuff like that?
I don't know. It sounded electoral.
Oh, electoral. I thought you said it sounded like toral.
No, it sounded electoral.
What is toral? $20.
Same
as downtown.
I'm already feeling a little warm inside.
I was going to say busting out the.
Hey, if you're going to watch an election, then you got to do it
Milam
right.
100. I don't know where this came from.
It's expensive.
So if you sent this, it's expensive as shit.
And Ron hasn't had any of it because whatever.
I just opened it. Well, I'm not saying I don't even know if somebody sent it. I don't know where it came from, but if you sent it, thank you.
I'm using TX whiskey. It's TX straight bourbon whiskey finished in cognac casks. Smooth. Very smooth.
Kind of a pussy drink, but all right. Whatever it takes to get you through the night. It's all right.
Already a lot going on out there.
All right, so Trump is already a projected winner in Florida. Again, no big surprise. 77% of the vote is in there. And we're just going to be watching the other coverages because we ain't got nothing secret. I mean, we've got a whole room of people working. You can hear them in the background. They're typing on typewriters. I don't know why the hell they're typing on typewriters. I don't even know why they have a typewriter. Massachusetts goes to Kamala Harris. Somebody answer who's calling here anyway?
Looks like Maryland's going to Harris. Oklahoma and Alabama projected Trump already. Of course, D.C. goes to her.
Illinois.
Still up for grabs.
Yep. This is what it was like in 2020.
Yeah.
It was all, wow, things are looking kind of even. It blows me away that New Hampshire looks like it's headed Kamala Harris's way, but that's like with a 10,000 vote difference. Delaware,
so as of,
they don't know.
Yeah, as of right now, they're saying Trump is at 105, Harris at 72. So,
and again, don't get excited because who the hell knows? The big story so far, Google admits that their "Where Can I Vote" feature favored Harris over Trump. Now, a lot of people were saying that was just because, like in Texas, there's a Harris County, so people were saying, "Where can I vote Harris?" And then it was, directing. I don't know how the hell it was directing them in favor of Kamala Harris, but apparently it was. The Where to Vote panel triggering for some specific searches because Harris is also the name of the county, but Google has since fixed that. So I'm sure that won't be a problem. See, and that's the problem, is that everything that we're going to see is going to be, what the hell's happening? His Trump stock was halted for volatile trading earlier today. This is according to CNN. It was halted twice after a sudden and precipitous plunge on Election Day following a massive surge. Wonder what Bitcoin's doing.
Good question.
Let's find out what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin, no, that's BitChute. I want Bitcoin.
Wow.
$71,321.43. That is close to the high that was, that actually may be the high. No, it was 72,237 within the last month. So it's getting very close to another record high. Let's see what else. There are polling places in Atlanta, 3 of them, that want to extend voting because there were bomb threats. In Atlanta, Fulton County in Georgia will seek from a court to extend polling hours at select locations affected by non-credible bomb threats until 7:30 Eastern time, which is 35 minutes ago. Let's see here. The other, and these are updates according to CNN. CNN has projected that Trump is winning Missouri. They've projected that Trump is winning Oklahoma. As of 3 minutes ago, top of the hour-ish, polls closing in 16 states, including Pennsylvania and Florida. Pennsylvania is going to be the one that is... Are we going to get any sort of an answer from Pennsylvania tonight? Because I doubt it. I'm not sure. Because they're the ones, they're going to be probably counting until Saturday. Who else is going to be counting until Saturday? Probably, Arizona? I mean, they're not going to be able to get it together. Let's see here. This is ABC's coverage.
Those are preliminary exit polls for the Harris campaign so far. Let's get right over to Rick Klein. Have any of the numbers come in on Pennsylvania yet?
Yeah, actually, we've heard from officials in Pittsburgh that they'd be fast, and they kept true to their word. A little bit of a surprise because we often wait for the big cities. It's not all the vote there, about a quarter of it, but as expected, you're seeing Kamala Harris open up a bit of a lead there. That's where she needs to win. And, of course, this part of the vote right now is almost all early by mail vote. You'd expect her to be winning voters like this. So that's the first numbers we're seeing, and that accounts for all of the lead that we see right now.
That's what I don't know. I don't know how. And this is Harris's campaign headquarters.
Georgia in 1992. Is Harris running similar numbers as Biden did in 2020? If she is, then that's good news going into the blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, because that shows then that she's able to keep the vote at the same level as Biden. And Biden won 6 out of the 7 swing states. So keep an eye out for those numbers in the suburbs of Georgia and the suburbs of North Carolina, because that will portend well as we, go later into the night.
Vermont, another not a surprise. Looks like it's going to Harris at this point, 62%. Trump's 34. Virginia, 52 to 45. Harris, 27% of the.
In Lay University, for example.
Again, these numbers, who knows? Who knows if any of these are legit? That's the problem. And there we have Kamala Harris, who still hasn't had. Isn't this amazing? We are in a time when one of the candidates for president has never had a press conference, has never gotten out, answered questions. It is unbelievable. Yep. Let's see. If you want to, if you're not in the Zoom room, which you can be in the Zoom room, if you want to be, obviously, if you're listening to the program, whether it's either on YouTube or Rumble, where else are we?
Yeah. So okay. So I had to mess with things. So we're now finally up on our website, the app, Rumble, and our YouTube channel, and we're also live on Spreaker and on the app, audio only, and on our website, audio only. So we should be up everywhere that we are normally up and running. And I'm getting confirmation that we're up. Yeah.
Yep. Warning: your sleep aid may be harming you. That's what it says on the front page of the Daily MoJo. So you can be in the chat rooms there, and of course use the hashtag. What I learned today on the socials. Ohio CNN is saying with 32% of the vote in, I'm guessing that's how they're phrasing that. It looked like Ohio was going for Harris, which again it stuns me. Have you had to? I almost feel guilty about this. Do you know people that are voting for Harris?
No. Do I know people? Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, distant family members that I see on Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah.
Are you still going to be their family after the election?
I am still their family. Yes. Don't get to change that. And I still follow them on Facebook because they don't do a lot of heavy political posting. But when they do, it's all pretty much way out of whack. I mean, some of the postings that they were making not too long ago, of course, had to do with transgender and going to, and kids going to transgender things and stuff like that they were okay with it. Kids have to learn, blah, blah, blah. I don't comment on it because they're family. So
it's odd. It's just odd because, and maybe I'm taking all of this too seriously. Maybe it's too much caffeine. Maybe I need to just back the hell off and not be so. But it seems it's hard to not be concerned about this. When you bury yourself in it every day and you really see what's at stake, maybe the people, and maybe that's the gift that people have who aren't buried in this all the time. Ignorance is bliss. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've actually had to, a couple of people that I know had to hit the old mute on the text. It's like, I don't know how you can pull the lever for that woman. I really, truly don't. And I know they think the same thing. However, when I was watching Joe Rogan, and it's funny, if you go to the Joe Rogan interview with Elon Musk.
Great interview, by the way. Yeah.
It is unbelievably good. And the thing about it is the comments down below, like the first one there, I've watched more Joe Rogan in the last week than I have in 6 months. Justice for Peanut the Squirrel. Is everyone watching watching this, waiting for the election? The last few weeks have been incredible for this show. Rogan is better than mainstream media. And there are a couple here. 9 hours of Joe Rogan I've watched in a week. This has been the best week for Joe. It really, when you see him talking to people, again, like Elon Musk, and then you realize, no, I'm not crazy. Because you do. There's a point where you go, okay, am I just making too big a deal out of this? And then you listen to somebody like him when he's talking to Elon about the fact that the lies that have been told on the left, that it's the left telling the lies. When you see that, you go, okay, I'm not crazy. Because I think a lot of what the mainstream media does is they gaslight you into thinking, okay, you're nuts because Trump's a felon and he's this and he's that. And you listen to somebody like Rogan who admits he was Democrat up until, or he says left, up until what, a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Or within the last, I think he said 10 years. And Elon said the same thing. He said, I was on the left and for like up until 3 years ago when they just went batshit crazy. And you realize, all right, no, I'm not nuts. It's happening. And the things if you have a chance to listen to the Elon Musk interview, it's not even really an interview. It's just an extended discussion. You know the things that they've done to him?
Oh,
the Department of Justice?
Well, didn't he say they were suing him right now for
SpaceX?
Yeah.
For not
hiring.
Yep. Right. Not hiring basically illegals.
Correct.
Because you have to, minority, blah, blah, blah. But it's illegal for him to hire
them. Yes.
Hire illegals. And he says that's just one of the lawsuits.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy what's happening.
He said the DOJ created the law or, the law was created that he couldn't hire them because he's considered a weapons manufacturer. Really?
Right.
I get it. I understand. He doesn't want, what did he say? He didn't want North Korea getting one of his rockets and shooting us.
Right.
Yeah.
Shooting it
so
back
he
at the
can't
United
hire
States.
people
It'd be
who are
bad.
not, it's not naturalized, but permanent residents. He can't hire people who are not permanent residents of the country. Yet the DOJ filed suit against him for not hiring people who were not permanent residents because that was not racist, but what is it? Discriminatory.
Discrimination.
I'm like, what?
I know, and it's all these high profile people, like the dude that I think I retweeted and said, show me on the doll where Trump touched you. Did you see that one? Yeah. So this guy, Patriot Virtus, a list of losers, the people who are supporting Trump. RFK Jr., known for spreading anti-vax conspiracies and embracing fringe theories that harm public health, RFK Jr. has also appeared with figures associated with racist ideologies, making his endorsement far from credible. Tulsi Gabbard, frequently switching political alignments, Gabbard has been criticized for associating with questionable figures, including far-right groups with racist undercurrents. Her shifting positions reveal more opportunism than conviction. Elon Musk, known for manipulating markets and spreading misinformation, Musk has also been criticized for handling racially discriminatory practices within Tesla. His endorsement seems more about self-interest than any genuine alignment. Joe Rogan. Rogan often platforms controversial figures and misinformation, including giving voice to racist viewpoints and stereotypes. His influence tends to distort facts rather than promote credible insights. This is how they're justifying saying that all of these people that have come out and endorsed Trump are just trash.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, widely seen as a propagandist, Carlson's rhetoric often amplifies racist and xenophobic sentiments under the guise of free speech. His divisive style feeds polarization and lacks journalistic integrity. Hulk Hogan, with a past that includes racist remarks caught on tape, Hogan's endorsement holds little weight in the public eye. His scandals and often offensive behavior overshadow any political insight he might offer. Dr. Phil, often criticized for exploiting guests on his show, Dr. Phil has been accused of sensationalizing sensitive topics, including race, for ratings. His ethics and qualifications as a mental health advocate are widely questioned. Buzz Aldrin, known for punching a conspiracy theorist, Aldrin's influence lies in space exploration, not politics. His sporadic statements don't lend him much credibility in issues related to governance or equality. I mean, they are mentally disturbed, these people who... I mean, the Patriot Virtus, who was... I mean, just... It really is crazy. And is he just a plant? That's the other thing. Is he just a political operative that's in there stirring up the pot? That's the other thing. We're seeing a lot of that too this time around. Let's see if anything is Massachusetts. CNN is called Massachusetts for Harris, Maryland for Harris. D.C. for Harris. Again, not a surprise.
Prosecuting the war together with their client state of Israel. All the bombs being dropped. As Biden himself has said, if there was not an Israel, they would have to create an Israel that has been perpetuating a genocide and ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people. Meanwhile, Trump has said that he wants Netanyahu and Israel to finish the job. And what they would do, the Republican fascists, what they would do is they would back Israel for an even more vicious genocidal campaign.
I swear to God, we have all gone insane.
Yep.
Does it not feel like that? Doesn't it feel like the entire planet has just gone insane? Did you know that they usually have parties at all of the find the story here. They have parties at all of the embassies around the country, or excuse me, around the world, and they have canceled all of the parties.
You talking about at the embassies, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
They usually have so many damn tabs open here. Poison pill, Vioxx. Where in the hell did it go? But all of the embassies have basically canceled their election night. Here we go. U.S. embassies in Europe. This is a story at Politico. And according to Politico, let me see. I want to reject all. There we go. Trump takes the fizz out of election night as embassies ditch soirees. U.S. election night 2024 promises to be a sober affair in Europe. After months of campaigning, a last-minute swap at the top of the presidential ticket in one of the closest-fought election races in recent American history, Election Day has finally arrived in the United States, but don't expect Europe to join in the election night fun. In stark contrast to pre-pandemic ballots, U.S. election night 24 promises to be that sober affair in Europe, with U.S. officials in most European power centers having ditched the usual festivities. I'm surprised I can still enunciate with... Obviously, I'm not drinking enough. Hang on. Remind me when I start to slur, and then give me another glass. Embassies from Brussels to London, Paris, and Berlin have decided against holding their usual watch parties. The reason? The Trump effect. Many officials still smarting from the shock 2016 election when Trump unexpectedly beat Clinton for the presidency, a political earthquake, blah, blah, blah. A senior diplomat based in Europe says, I don't think there was much of an appetite to watch another Trump victory. Adding that the 2016 embassy events had been calamitous. The cringe moment was captured by former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power, who recalled in her autobiography how she had invited all female ambassadors to the UN to her residence for an election night bash, only to watch her dreams of America's first woman president go up in smoke.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yep.
Right? What is it with the vagina in the White House? Why does there have to be?
I would bet 80% of the votes she gets tonight are because that's what they want.
A vagina in the White House.
Yep.
Why didn't they put that on bumper stickers? What, you don't think that would have sold?
I'm sure it would have.
Similar scenes played out in embassies across Europe and Brussels. Then Ambassador Anthony Gardner hosted an election party in the Regal U.S. Embassy on Boulevard du Régent in Brussels. Attendees entered, blah, blah, blah. This time around, though, Europe is hedging its bets. They're not hosting a party, nor in London, nor Paris, nor Berlin. Though the U.S. Embassy in Rome is hosting an election night event on Tuesday, which would be today. Although in Rome, isn't it tomorrow already?
It is, yeah, because there's eight hours
Right
in front of us, I think. Yeah.
All right, so it's already tomorrow in Rome. So they're the decision to deep six these election night festivities may also reflect the unusually politicized nature of America's diplomatic corps. What if that's because Trump is just going to deep six them should he get in? And that's a big if. We do not know if he's going to win this thing. Far from it. I mean, this is, let's see, this is CBS coverage. Hang on.
And the Harris campaign says tonight that they are feeling confident because, remember, they have to have a big win here and in Pennsylvania and in Pittsburgh, these urban areas where they really rely on blue turnout, Democratic turnout to offset really the rest of the state, much of which is deep red and rural. And tonight we're hearing from the Trump campaign that they are confident because they are seeing a, quote, robust turnout in the specific rural areas that the Trump campaign has been targeting, going after low propensity voters, especially
North Carolina,
do not vote in elections.
There's only 3% of the vote. Who the hell knows?
Slice each other's margins in this way, and both teams say they are feeling good, Lindsay. But of course, we won't know until we start getting some
House
returns.
projections at this point: 165 to the Republicans, 158 for the Democrats. Because that's another big issue. Even if Trump does win,
Oh yeah, the House and the Senate. If they go against him, it'll be another at least another 2 years of him battling them, taking up his time.
This year, citing new election machine equipment, citing the fact that the ballots are physically smaller and easier to process. They have more workers and fewer mail-in ballots than they did in 2020 because we are not in a worldwide pandemic.
Rija, there's also a Senate race we're watching in Pennsylvania. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is a pretty critical Senate race because, again, the margin is so small, and this could determine who controls the Senate. It is between Democrat incumbent Senator Bob Casey and Republican challenger Dave McCormick, who is a businessman and who served in the Trump administration. What's really interesting here, Lindsay, is that Casey previously was a pro-life Democrat, but for the first time, he is promising to try to reinstall Roe v. Wade. So we'll see how that plays out because McCormick is calling him out for that.
That's it. If they were going to, why didn't they codify Roe v. Wade before it got overturned? They love, both sides love having the abortion debate. They love it because they can bat it back and forth, and it can be used on both sides as a tool, and that's it.
Yeah.
At 538.com, projects.538.com, who is favored to win the 2024 presidential election in the simulations that they've done so far. Harris wins 50 times out of 100. Trump wins 49 times out of 100.
Too close to call, dude.
Right. Which is really, again, given the facts surrounding, again, this election where you have someone who nobody voted for. Nobody voted for. The party installed her. She was chosen as the VP because she's half black and vagina. That's it, right? I mean, back then, for whatever reason, when Biden chose her, they still knew what a woman was, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's dumbfounding. Like I said, maybe I either need to back off the caffeine or not take this stuff so seriously, because it when you get this deep into it, it really is insane.
I mean, look, you got to think people like Rogan, Musk, Trump, and all these other people who have pissed off the left, they know they're coming after them. Musk said it in the interview. He's like, I'm probably number 2 on the list, right behind Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of Twitter.
Yep.
Because, and they're all saying that that he allowed misinformation and hate speech. But like Elon says in the interview, who gets to decide what hate speech is?
Exactly. That's why there's community notes.
But of course, that is not. Hang on a second. The boy Blob says Bridham crapped his pants on live TV during the biggest election of our lifetime. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is
issue that was raised in our voter analysis. It said that only half of all voters said
that was a.
I've been keeping an eye on this issue. That
I don't know that we know that was actually Bridham doing it. Dr. Mojo Martian says, first time ever using the web app, and I got an ad with a dog shitting and having worms dug out of his ass.
Yeah.
Gross. I imagine it's how most feel about this election.
Yeah. Not completely, but yes, the reason you got that is because we're having to feed a different video feed to the app tonight that has ads.
Oh, is that the Rumble feed?
Yes.
Aha. Thought that was the Vimeo feed.
No, the Rumble feed is over on the app. Is on the app and on the website tonight.
Unrepentant Capitalist says if Elon Musk hadn't purchased X, this election would already be over.
That is a fact. Yep.
That's really frightening, isn't it? And again, in that interview, and I've, like whoever it was that said in those comments, I've watched more Joe Rogan in the last 4 days than I've watched in my entire life. And Elon was saying Twitter was controlled by the government.
Yeah.
Both sides. Both sides were getting in there. You can't, we need you to pull this, take that. And he said it was run by a bunch of, again, which is not surprising, run by a bunch of leftist activists. And if he had not purchased it, you're right, it would have been, this election would have been done already, and not in a good way. All right, according to CNN here at this point in time so far, Harris with 27.
Okay, let me go now to CNN's reporter.
Oh, we're going to have some curry tonight on the election night, aren't we? With 105, what? Aren't we?
Yeah.
In line with what team?
So CNN's got 27 to 105 right now. It looks like CNN's running 72 to 111. So.
Wait, say that again?
Fox News is running 72 to 111 right now.
Oh, okay. You said CNN. Yeah. I was looking for the
CNN. CNN is running 27 to 105 as far as projections go on the Electoral College.
Right. So again, we don't know. And the predictions for what for how this evening will end. At this point, you think there's going to be a winner?
I don't know. It will either have to be really, really clear, because if it's too close, they won't call it. But at the same time, I'm watching, the Cruz Allred race in Texas and the House and the Senate numbers, because that's gonna make a big difference too.
How's Allred doing against Cruz?
Right now, it showed. As far as Fox News goes, they said 28% in, but our polls closed 30 minutes ago. Cruz was up like 61%. So he may end up pulling it out, but let me get back over here and see if I can find it now.
Virginia, let's see, New Hampshire's already gone to, it looks like, Harris.
So actually, yeah. So now with 48% in, it's Allred on top, 49.9%.
And CNN has called Arkansas for Trump, or I don't know if they've called it, but they're projecting him to win Arkansas.
Yeah, which puts him
South
at the 111.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Let's see, the FBI. Hang on a second. The FBI is now warning of fake videos using its insignia to spread falsities about the election. It's just warned of 3 fake messages purporting to be from the Bureau that promote false narratives surrounding the election, including one video about malfunctioning voting machines. The FBI was made aware of 3 instances, name and insignia being misused to promote false narratives surrounding the election, calling videos the latest in a series of fabricated videos and statements falsely attributed to the FBI designed to mislead the American public. Bureau did not say who was behind the fake messages or where they were circulated. One of the fake videos claims the FBI received 9,000 complaints about malfunctioning voting machines that were submitting votes for a specific candidate. The claim mirrors debunked claims circulating last week about machine switching votes. Were those claims last week, were they actually debunked?
I hadn't heard. Yeah, I hadn't heard. I don't know.
If you watch Hacking Democracy, You can watch the machines switching the votes. It's literally not rocket science. The second video, they said, falsely promoted to be from the FBI and another government agency, suggests that schools suspend educational activities through November 11th because the risk of school shooting and riots has increased significantly due to the presidential election. FBI also warned of a fabricated written statement warning media and bloggers against publishing information about violence at polling station because they may provoke a spontaneous increase in such incidents. See if we can find live video from D.C., shall we? See if there's a live D.C. feed.
Are you talking about like just on the streets in D.C.?
Yeah, just to see if what the fences are doing. See, I don't see anything here. Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. live cam. Let's see. This is it's a live. It's a webcam from Phoenix. Washington Monument. Let's see what that one's doing. Well, here's something of a, say, not a good live feed, but it is a live feed. If there are any, I mean, if there's any like bright explosions going off, you'll be able to see them from here. This is the Washington Monument. I guess a cam up on the Washington Monument.
Looks like it's facing towards the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah. So that's the pool in there, right?
That down there.
It's hard to tell through the schmutz.
Yeah, that's the World War II Memorial, right at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Lincoln Memorial in the Dead Center. And the pool
You
between
know,
it. Yeah.
For a $37 trillion deficit, you'd think part of that would have been someone to clean the damn lens off the camera. But no. There's all of 19 people watching it. So I'm looking for something that would be...
So we're getting notification that the GOP has flipped the open West Virginia Senate seat. Governor Jim Justice defeated Democrat Glenn Elliott. Justice, who has been the governor of the Mountaineer State since 2017, was expected to win, and he will succeed retiring Senator Joe Manchin.
So there's some good news. Do we know anything about this Republican? Because honestly, who knows?
Jim Justice? Yeah, he was the governor of West Virginia. Yeah.
Washington, D.C. live.
As of right now, we've got 50% of the vote in Texas. Trump is up 51% to 47%. Again, that's with 50% of the vote. I just don't want Texas to go blue. Florida's already in, of course, for Trump. That's 56 to 43%. How is that even
possible that 47...
Look, you're talking about Houston, Dallas, Austin. Come on, there's a lot of people living there, dude.
I know.
A lot of people live in those blue areas.
I know. According to CNN, let's see, they have two different figures up on their boards. One is Trump with 99 electoral votes, and the other one 105. The Senate, so I'm trying to figure out how to read these. The Senate so far, 42 Republicans, 32 Democrats. We've only picked up one seat there. And doesn't say how many we've picked up in the House. If I'm reading that correctly. The more we drink, the harder it gets to read the numbers.
He knows what we know, which is if Kamala Harris wins this election, it's going to be because of women voters. It's going to be because of that gender gap. And what's been striking to me in the final days of this campaign is the Trump campaign and his supporters have been explicit in their effort about trying to drive up the male vote. I've never really seen anything quite like it. Stephen Miller, who of course is one of his closest advisors, was out today on Twitter saying, any men out there, if you know any men who haven't voted, get them to the polls. I mean, I've never really seen that. They are trying to, what they are pointing to is the gender gap on the other side of the gender gap. They want to drive.
Are they just making shit up?
Probably.
I mean, is it really women? Is it really women that are being suckered in by Harris? Again, it's
getting that. What was it you said about the embassy that's not going to party because in 2016 it broke her little heart? That kind of thing is what I think is happening. Is people want a woman in the White House, and you know what? I'd love to see a woman in the White House. I would.
Absolutely.
I don't think it should be her, but I'd love to see a woman in the White House. I think it's about damn time, quite honestly.
Would you rather see an ugly one or a hot one in the White House?
I might have to go with ugly, Chuck. Get the job done. I don't need anybody oogling over you and distracting you.
Wait
Get
a minute.
The job done.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that a hot woman in the White House is not smart enough to get the job done? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I would rather see.
That's what it sounded like you were saying.
That's not what I'm saying. By the way, Rick Scott,
like
Republican from Florida, retained his Senate seat.
Let's see here. This is U.S. Capitol. Snipers riot fences ready. This is from the, hang on a second. This is the Hindustan Times. It says that this is a live cam from D.C. Hang on a second. Get that over. Okay, my mouse is going retarded. This is Maricopa County. So this is their feed from the Hindustan Times. So we're not seeing. Okay, it's not actually snipers and riot fences ready, and U.S. election unrest. It's almost like they're just keyword loading on their titles, and we're not really seeing that. How many, or do we have anybody in the Zoom room?
Yeah, we've got 6 folks over in the Zoom room. Let me get them up here.
Curious as to what they are.
Everybody's blanked out, but is there anybody in the Zoom room who wants to come on the air? Lep was in there.
In the Zoom room who is not drunk?
What? I'm not drunk.
Whiskey, he's driving. He can't be drunk.
No, I'm parked for the night, but.
All right.
I'm working on it. Well, as I just typed to you, if heels up, Harris wins, it's because of all the sitters to pee who were, depending on whether they were assigned at their gender at birth. That's what'll do it.
I think if she wins, it's going to be on the abortion topic. And that's the only reason she's going to win.
Yeah. That's Jennifer May, by the way. Thank you, Jennifer. I think you're absolutely correct. My
body, my choice is the big thing in this election, I do believe.
Going back to the Supreme Court decision, I never thought it would get overturned, first of all, but I think it was overturned strictly so that it could be a fighting point in the election. I mean, I think that's how bad the machine is. Because they still haven't figured out who the hell the leaker was, which, a Supreme Court leaker, kind of a big deal. And they've never really gotten to the bottom of it.
It was the same person that planted the pipe bombs.
Again, this is the craziest stuff, which makes it really hard to predict anything that's because you have to factor in the crazy. And it's hard to do that.
Well, pray for us here in California.
Say that again?
Pray for us here in California. We're a mess.
That's Gen B, by the way, Brad.
Which is sad because I love California. I mean, I lived there for a long time, and it sucks that it's been ruined the way it has.
I loved it too. It was a beautiful state. Yeah, we had our problems and our issues, but politics has absolutely killed this state. And I'm talking from local all the way state, all the way to federal. It's just really screwed us up. It's sad. But yeah, I'm SoCal. I'm Lep's little sister, just to let you know.
Yep. That's my little sister.
Welcome to the show. Thank you.
And it's brave of you to admit that.
I'm that bad? Oh my God.
No, Bob, you're not. By the way, where's the hair?
You mean it's still there? I haven't lost it yet. It's not like yours.
Where's the Bob Ross hair?
It's still there. It's just greasy at this time of night.
Gotcha.
Hi, Lady Cougs.
Poofy.
How are you?
Drink.
All right, so
go.
So Cougs, you wore the Trump hat to the polls, right?
Yes, I did.
And what'd they say? They give you any shit?
Nobody said anything to me. I worked the polls in North Carolina for 30-ish years from the time I was 13. 18 until
Are you drunk?
Until 2016. Yes, I am drunk. My dad's in the hospital, and I went out to eat with my sister, and we drank 2 bottles of wine. So
nice.
That'll do it.
Well, good for you.
Hope your dad gets
I
better.
am a little drunk. I will say that.
What state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina.
So you could, in North Carolina, there obviously is not a problem wearing a MAGA hat into a polling place. I mean,
You can only not wear electioneering materials if you're working the polls, which I did for half my life. So
Since she was 13.
18. Yes, I'm drunk. I'm hearing the delay on my TV, and I can't find my remote. So
that's because you're drunk, which is okay. It's perfectly fine. So yeah, there are, what did we say, 31 states that you can't have anything that would suggest anything political even if you're going to vote, which I don't know, seems kind of crazy.
I have never heard that before. When y'all were talking about it last week, and a lot of other people were talking about it on Twitter and stuff, I had never heard that before, because there are electioneers outside the polling place. They have to stay, I don't know, it's 150 yards or something, or 150 feet. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but they have to stay a certain way, a certain amount of feet away from the door, but they're stumping for their candidate. So to tell a voter they can't wear anything to come in their polling place is something I've never heard before. I thought that was the strangest thing.
Yep. Okay, this is a little weird. Which feed was this, Ron, over here on the this video has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service?
What is that? What were you trying to get to?
Wasn't that the CNN feed? That was either the CNN feed or that was the CNN feed.
Oh, so it wasn't CNN, it was CNN's actual feed?
Yeah, it was their News 18 feed or whatever.
Oh.
Which is kind of weird. All the other feeds are still there.
Yeah,
CBS
and Fox News. And now Fox News, I'm pulling directly from their website.
But CNN's feed for whatever reason has been yanked from YouTube. It's kind of crazy.
Interesting.
It's 2024, so not surprising. Let's see here. DeGare Bear said they've just called Tennessee. For whom? I haven't seen that pop up yet.
Let me see.
Maryland.
Tennessee has been called for Trump.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Michigan, 55% for Kamala Harris with only 8% of the vote in, which again, in 2020, everybody went to bed going, hey, this thing's...
We got it wrapped up. Yeah.
Wow, this chick is 3 cuts to clown face. Check her out.
Which,
The
hang on
ABC
just a
chick.
second. Let me get over there. Oh, there she is. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Whew. She looks like she just stuck her finger in a light socket. New Jersey. All right, let's see. All right, CBS did a commercial. North Carolina, Ohio still looks like
Massachusetts Senate, Warren won her seat back. I'm anxious to figure out AOC's race. Let's see. Where's she at? She's in New York.
she got popped for suggesting that there was a big rally in Puerto Rico, that it was an anti-Trump rally. And what it really was the it was a political rally. It was called Eyes on Puerto Rico. She tried to say that it was behind only Harris's ellipse crowd of 75,000 people, that there were 50,000 people in this anti-Trump rally in Puerto Rico, but it wasn't an anti-Trump rally. So she got popped with a community note on the X. That's how they don't. Again, that's why they don't like Twitter, because it was a colonial elections festival in Puerto Rico. They just lie. Liz Cheney, firing squad, lie. It's amazing to me.
Is it Ocasio-Cortez? She's in New York. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yeah.
Where at in New York?
You mean currently, right now? I don't.
I mean,
know.
what is it? What's her district? Do you know?
Nope. Nope. Mojo Martian, hate to tell you, Real Brad Staggs, but Texas will likely go blue by 2030. It's been shifting that way. Yeah, yes, I know. It's people moving here from California. And California, for whatever reason...
14.
First, it was Colorado back in I think it was the 80s, that they moved, a bunch of people moved out of California, a bunch of blue, a bunch of Democrats moved into Colorado. Then it was Oregon. It was either Oregon first or Colorado first, and now it's Texas. So for whatever reason, California seems to grow the Democrats and then send them off out into the world for whatever reason.
So New York does their polls don't even close till 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's they're not reporting anything there. But she's in New York's 14th, and she's running against Tina Forte. I don't know if you know Tina Forte. We interviewed her several times on Cowboy Logic Radio. She is a force to be reckoned with, but whether she will beat AOC or not remains to be seen. I don't think she will, but she's been after her for the better part of 2 years.
Who's funding Forte?
I do not know.
Tina. Is she is she tall? Nope, she's tiny, isn't she? That's a bad picture.
I think so.
Here.
Yeah.
Image address. Here we go. Here's Tina Forte. Okay, so she's tiny, and she's got tats.
And she's a little bit stacked because she would always come on the show and bossed off the guns for us.
Wow. Why must you objectify women in this way?
Not that kind of stacked, dude.
What, you just said she's stacked?
I did, but I meant like this kind of stacked. Ugh. Muscles.
Right. That's what we're looking at right there, her muscles.
Not boobies.
Aren't those muscles?
Although they are boobies.
Just checking. Okay, back to... Oh, I did want to bring this up because didn't bring it up on the show and actually didn't even know about it until earlier this evening. But Peter Buxton, who was the whistleblower for the Tuskegee experiments, the syphilis study that they did on black men back in the, the 50s, he just died in July. He was 86 years old. And good on him for being the whistleblower.
Yep.
The government allowed hundreds of black men in rural Alabama to go untreated for syphilis in what became known as the Tuskegee study. He died May 18th of Alzheimer's disease in Rockland, California, according to his attorney. He is revered as a hero to public health scholars and ethicists for his role in bringing to light the most notorious medical research scandal in U.S. history. That's the other thing on Rogan's interview with Elon Musk, Fauci.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Elon Musk, the quote is, Anthony Fauci is a freaking monster.
Yeah.
And Rogan brought up a great point about RFK. The book, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
And he says, if that stuff is true in there, he's absolutely a monster. And there have not been any lawsuits filed against RFK
for the statements in the book. That's correct.
Makes one wonder.
Because and Rogan says RFK actually cited everything he talked about, and you can go out and read it for yourself. And yeah, I agree. There's been no lawsuits because of the statements in the book. Look, Fauci's gone as far as we're concerned right now.
Yeah, but we're still paying him.
We're still paying. Are we?
Yes. He gets that his pension was like $1 bazillion. And we were paying him what, $875,000 a year?
Something massive. I mean, I would love to see some trial down the road. The Fauci, whatever. I mean, this guy, Fauci's Mangala trial or whatever, but.
Right. I mean, and all of this stuff that's happened under, and it happened under Trump too.
It happened under Trump too, yeah.
Which is disturbing. And you kind of hope that Trump has learned that lesson, which again, I think he has, which is why people like RFK Jr. are now going to be hopefully in charge of Health and Human Services, and this doofus over on Twitter, who is all down on. He's even down on Brett Favre and Megyn Kelly and Kid Rock.
Couldn't we take a list of the people on the left and do the same thing he's doing? Of course we could. I mean, it's all opinion, right?
Yeah, but they're making shit up. I mean, Tucker Carlson, widely seen as a propagandist, is he? Is he seen as a propagandist? Because I don't look at Tucker Carlson that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Voting services building in Pennsylvania is being searched right now by dogs after a bomb threat. It prompted the evacuation of the government building in Westchester, PA. Voting services located. This according to CNN. There was a bomb threat to the Government Services Center in Westchester, Pennsylvania. A building currently being searched by dogs will be back in service shortly if nothing is found.
Right now, Pennsylvania is reporting 14%, with Kamala up 65% over Trump 33%. And Pennsylvania is going to be a pretty major state for us. I mean, didn't somebody, who was it that said Pennsylvania, whoever wins Pennsylvania will win the election?
A judge has rejected the Democrats' efforts to extend voting near Lehigh University in Pennsylvania, where wait times were hours long. The Democrats asked the judge to extend voting at the Bethlehem Ward 3 polling place until 10 o'clock Eastern time to accommodate for lines they said stretched as long as 4 hours. They alleged the Board of Elections didn't provide enough voting machines or staff at the location. Who ran out of paper? One of the places ran out of paper. I think that was during May have been during early voting. Let's see. Tim Walz was calling students in line at the which place in Bethlehem?
Yep.
Polls closed across Arkansas. Again, projection of Trump winning Arkansas.
So as an update right now, the 2024 Senate race results are, as of this moment, 34 Democrats, 43 Republicans. The Republicans have flipped one seat, and they gained a seat, and the Democrats have lost a seat. Now, that's not a lot of stuff coming in, but, of course, 51 is the magic number there. So,
and the New York Times... let's see here. Currently, let's see, 71 electoral votes for Harris, 101 for Trump. Chance of winning is this is the New York Times. It's toss up, no clear leader, which again just the estimate so far: Trump with 279 electoral votes, 259 for Harris. Not quite sure how that thing's working there, but all right. And then. I'm reading this thing right. Wait a second.
So
wasn't it just 100?
It was. So as of right now, Fox News has them at 113 to 178 Trump on the electoral votes, and that's their projection right now. 178
How can all these
Trump,
numbers be that much different?
Because some news services will project where others will not. Fox News is pretty liberal with their projections. They'll throw something out there just because. Right. Looks like who got the Iowa? They're talking just called Iowa. Oh no, just called Nebraska for Trump.
Yep. You see, none of these have been called here so far. ABC's just going through these like wicked fast. All right. So that's what we have so far.
That doesn't make any sense. Look on the screen right there. Why?
I know. 154. The numbers are all over the place.
Yeah. So New York.
Are they intentionally trying to confuse the situation?
Colorado.
Because
just
doing a hell of a good job.
Yeah, because that's weird.
What?
Would they have called New York already?
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah,
but
they called
all of these.
They called New York for Harris already. 930,000. Oh no, I'm sorry, they haven't called it right now. I don't know why they're calling it, but look at that number right there on the screen. How can you call? Well, there's North Dakota, but how can you call something for Trump when he's 20% below her?
That's what I'm saying.
I think because what we're looking at is less than, I don't know why the just called is there, but if they're using those numbers and they think he's going to win, then they're projecting real liberal right now. With less than 1% in, and she's got whatever, but like right now, it's 15% reporting in New York, and she's at 72% and him at 27%. So.
Trying to find.
I'd love to see New York flip red, but I don't think it's going to.
Probably not. I would love to see downtown D.C. or.
Being told that in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, they're running illegals in to vote. That's why they want it to be extended. Don't know if that's real information or not. That's just coming in through text message. So.
I don't know what to believe. Let's see. What the hell? Why is there a webcam from February 2023?
Beth says they're using exit polls in which counties are left to be counted when they call. So they're saying the Texas Senate race is too soon to call between Cruz and Allred right now. 56% reporting.
White House cam. Access Communications. Let's see if this is a...
Gillibrand
flags.
Holding on to her seat in New York. Looks like Kramer is the incumbent holding on to his Senate seat in North Dakota. Barrasso,
I think I finally found a live cam of D.C.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's on fire yet.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is.
Right now we're showing 46 to 37 Republican majority so far in Senate as of right now.
The Access Communications Experience Center, a live cam of D.C. Doesn't appear to be anything on fire yet. Well, wow. Oof. I mean, the way that they... this thing really live? It says it is. Yeah, it's
there's vehicles moving down
2104.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the timestamp is right.
Oh, it's just zooming in. I see.
It's zooming in and identifying things.
That's actually pretty cool.
Kind of wild, huh? I was hoping we would get...
Looks like Georgia's going to go blue. She, with 70% of the vote in, she's 71% to his 27%.
Is that a surprise?
You know what? That looked like it might have just been Fulton County.
Okay, Pennsylvania, with 16% of the vote in, 63% for Harris, 35% for Trump. Let's see. Now they're saying to see Trump with 154 electoral votes, 27 for Harris. Again, how many was it? 19?
Yeah, on Fox.
Electoral.
Like I said, on Fox, if you look at Fox's electoral count down in the bottom right there, it's 113 to 178. So what I'm saying is Fox is being real liberal with those exit polls and counties still to count. In their projections, they're way out there, if you ask me. But
all right, and so yeah, New York looks like they called it for Harris. Gillibrand.
Yeah, she retained her seat.
Yeah.
In Senate. Let's see. New York right now is showing
hell of a margin.
15% in is all it's in right now, still showing 72% to 27%.
I miss Tim Russert.
Yeah.
This is
Texas,
North Carolina.
Texas has been called for Trump.
North Carolina, it's still neck and neck with 41% of the vote counted. He's up by 119,000 votes.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's where they're getting that 178 for Trump's electoral is because they called Texas for Trump, which is 40 electoral votes.
I mean, it's so far it looks good, right? I hate to say that. I hate to say that it looks good because I feel I don't want to give it the fecal touch.
Well, but we've got 54 electoral votes in California, and their polls don't even close until 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. their time. So.
West Virginia. Let me see. It looks like it's ABC has 154 to 30 with Trump. These numbers, they're just all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss the good old days when they all kind of resembled each other, right? B from the SAV says they can call the states early for Kamala because they made the graphic weeks ago. Need to use it. Remember
what was
that's
that?
what happened.
Was that Pennsylvania that we saw? Or?
In Philly, in Philly, that it'd be fascinating to find out if those numbers match.
Yeah.
What they put up there, right? Let's see. Nebraska. Again, it's hard. It's hard to read how they've got all these. You know who I really miss right now? His first name was Doc. Let's see. Right now on CBS, they had, I think it was 165, 158 in the House. They're sticking with they are changing these graphics up so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's vote for president, union households, 58% for Harris, 39%. Oh, there it is. House estimate, 165 for the Republicans, 158 for the Democrats.
They have not called the Texas Senate seat for Cruz yet. 57% in, but he is running a really, really tight race with Allred.
Well, it's because Colin Allred got out there and you'd swear he was a Republican. The ads that he was running, you'd swear that he was he was all kinds of Team Red.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I mean, you saw the ads. They just say shit. They say whatever they think that people want to hear. Again, mastered by Obama. For a bit of, Nebraska. Right to abortion. South Dakota. Amendment. 64% no. Doesn't look like any abortion bill is going to pass in that South Dakota. Wisconsin exit poll. They trust Trump to handle a crisis more than they would trust Harris, you think? And also Wisconsin, more men voting for Trump than Harris. Women, more women voting for Harris than Trump. Again, it's the abortion thing. It has to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The abortion thing.
When does Alaska close? 1 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, hey, there's Bill Whitaker, who interviewed,
including complaints about malfunctioning voting machines. Now, our similar videos out this weekend were attributed to Russian bad actors. Now, our elections are typically a showcase for our...
Seriously, are there really Russian bad actors effing with our election still? Or is it the CIA? Thank you, Let's Be Frank in PA, for the live link to the DC video. Let's see if I get it over here. He says, "Here's that live camera footage you were looking for, the White House." Not funny. It's not funny, Frank. People get hurt. The White House did that. All right.
U.S. intelligence would say they want Kamala Harris to lose and therefore Donald Trump to win. But this comes right to the policy around Ukraine, which the Biden administration has been very much supportive of. There are a number of reasons in terms of just liking chaos, but trying to just instill some kind of division within the United States and exploit it. And that is what Russia's modus operandi has been, trying to be agents of chaos. And the threat doesn't stop with Election Day. It continues well after. U.S. intelligence has declassified a lot, including information that back in January, Russian intelligence tried to hire Americans to carry out violence in the United States of America. So it is making us doubt.
Who do you believe more, the Russians or the CIA?
As an American, I would have to say the CIA. But then again, I don't know.
Really? You believe that? Because I tend to
said
believe.
as an American.
You mean the right answer would be?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, and this all goes back to 2012 and the Smith-Mundt Act basically being repealed. And it's little things like that happen that you may not know for years why it happened, but the ability for the government to propagandize its own citizens. And here we are, 12 years later, and ta-da, voters age 65. Really? In Michigan? Voters age 65 and older were more likely to vote for Harris? That seems weird, doesn't it?
It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
That doesn't make... I'm not, believe me, I know I'm not an astute... Uh-oh. Hang on.
Oh, why are you drinking? What did you say?
Because
something?
I couldn't get that whole sentence out. I am not an astute political wonk, so a lot of this stuff to me is like, it's like trying to read Latin. But it doesn't make any sense. You'd think for people over 65, you'd have seen this shit before and go, wait a second, the Harris campaign is full of dog shit. I mean, generally, as you get older, you just, again, it's not necessarily, you get smarter, you just accumulate more knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you've paid any attention at all, you realize, oh, this is the same damn movie I've seen 100 times now. I know how the ending is. And you realize, oh, they're regurgitating an old plot. If you've paid any attention at all. But it seems that in Wisconsin, they don't necessarily learn. Oh, by the way, over on the X, somebody said, "Where do we send stuff to?" I tweeted earlier. I said, "I don't know who sent this to me. I don't. It was in the cupboard, and I should know. If somebody did send it, I should have put a little note on it." Florida Realtor Chris, where do we send things to? Well, I like the sound of that. Beautiful bottle. Oh my, nice. How is it? Any special flavor note? That's one thing I've never.
Is it nutty, Brad? Has it got a nutty flavor?
What do you have if you have two nuts on the wall?
What?
Walnuts.
Oh, oh, okay.
Two nuts on your chest.
Chestnuts.
Two nuts on your chin.
Teabag. I don't know what you're going for there.
You know what? I'm not going to go for anything. You just did it for me. I don't know what Florida Realtor Chris wants to send, but I'm all about it. We need to get him our address.
Yep.
Because if he's a realtor in Florida, he's got some money. Cruz jumped ahead in Texas, according to DeGare Barrett. That's good news. ABC News will be right back, and so will CBS. What the hell happened to CNN's feed?
Their YouTube feed, probably YouTube killed them, or somebody was pushing it for them, and it wasn't CNN directly.
It's their News 18 feed.
I don't know what that is.
That's the channel that is.
Is that the normal CNN channel on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yes, it is, and for whatever reason, yeah, it's right there. Okay, so is it back? Well, it's trying. It wants to. Here it is. All right, so poof, it's back. News18.com. I think that got yanked for no apparent reason.
Enough votes there for Kamala Harris.
Hang on a second. Too many people talking. There it is.
For Kamala Harris, it's a very straight but narrow path to victory.
What is it with all the
She
curry
has to
tonight?
win Pennsylvania, she has to win Michigan, and she has to win Wisconsin. And all of those three states, very limited amounts of vote count have happened so far. I believe in Pennsylvania, less than 20% of the vote has been counted. Yes, Kamala Harris is leading by a wide margin.
Hey, well, hold on a second. Didn't you say that Georgia was going for Harris?
Well, no, that was that one county. I did say it was.
Fulton
But,
County. Okay.
but they're
Okay,
69% in, and right now it's 52% Trump with 69% in. So they probably will call Georgia for Trump.
Tennessee, man, solid Trump, 67%.
Yeah.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
That's, I
We are
wonder if Davidson County is going to go red.
Is that in Tennessee?
That's Nashville, yeah.
Oh.
Nashville's traditionally been blue. I mean, but again, in the old days, like Phil Bredesen, who was mayor and then went on to be governor, who was a Democrat, and I liked him.
And that's based on the senator or the House in the county or president? I
No,
mean,
it's just
the president.
It's like around here, the big cities tend to be
What's
blue.
the county?
Davidson.
Davidson's definitely going blue. Right now, it was 64% Harris. Also, Haywood County. Is that Memphis?
Where is Haywood? Where's Haywood County?
Southwest.
Now, Memphis is Davidson will not go red, according to Beth.
Yeah. No, it's
What is Memphis?
64 to 37% with 60% of the vote in right now.
Memphis is, I know what county, Memphis, Tennessee, what county it is, as soon as I know. Shelby County.
We reduced some of that lead. So remains to be seen what's going to happen. I think Trump, definitely took a better tack with Georgia at this time. He tried very hard to not anger the governor, who's very popular in Georgia, and tried very hard not to, completely go all in on him and on the people of Georgia.
Shelby County's not reporting yet.
Republican. In 2020, there were two
They'll be blue.
senators from there, and now there's two Democrat senators, and there's no
Somebody's yelling something.
The Senate leader.
What?
Wants
There's people in the newsroom back here yelling stuff.
Oh, that's true, but it was a very close contest between
Kentucky,
Trump and Georgia, isn't it?
which I think has already been called, but pretty solid Trump.
% if I'm not mistaken. I just have to take a very short break right here, gentlemen. I'll come back to you in just.
So far it all looks about like it did in 2020, does it not?
Yeah. Yeah, but
And that's the
remember,
terrifying part.
if I'm not mistaken, like Nevada, Arizona, those probably will go blue. California will go blue. I mean, that's a lot of numbers. You think Nevada won't?
Nevada might be. I don't know where Nevada is, but I know where Nevada is.
Their polls close in 40 minutes, 35 minutes.
It's
now Nevada's only 6, Arizona's 11 electoral votes. Their polls,
it's all over the place.
Yeah,
according to Forbes, Trump holds a razor-thin advantage in Nevada. According to the Bulwark, Nevada's Oracle predicts Kamala Harris barely edges Trump.
Yeah. Arizona's definitely going to go blue, in my opinion. Even though it may be close, but I think it's still going to go blue.
Illinois, solid for Harris.
Yeah.
The current map, 154 electoral votes for Trump, 53 for Harris. I wonder, at this point in the game in 2020.
So as of right now, Fox News, and I'll put this over there so you can see it, Fox News is showing 113 for Harris, 195 for Trump. Again, they're being pretty open with their numbers. So,
let's see. I wish we had a replay of the 2020 election that we could match it with today.
Yeah.
Election, the 2020 election night. because I'm willing to bet it looked similar. Getting close to what was this? This was election. This is CNN calling. Let's see.
So as of right now in the Senate race, it's 47 to 37 Republicans. 51 is the number needed.
Okay, this might.
It looks like with 58% in, they did call Texas for Cruz.
I found the NBC's coverage of the 2020 election. It's like 7 hours long. We are 2 hours into it. I wonder what it looked like 2 hours in.
Well,
in 2020.
But their 2 hours wouldn't be our 2 hours. They may have started early in the day.
Yeah. I have nothing else to go on.
Is there a time on the screen anywhere?
No. But 2 hours. Let's see. 2 hours into the coverage, the numbers were nothing like they are now. I figure this will confuse the shit out of everybody. So let's do it. All right. So here's the 2020 election.
ABC News contributor Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh Hewitt Show on the Salem Radio Network, a Trump supporter, and Maria Teresa Kumar, president and CEO of Voto Latino, a Biden supporter. Welcome to both of you. Let me talk to you, Maria Teresa, how you feel about what has happened in Florida. We haven't called it, but of course the president is said to be leading, and the results.
Yeah, 2 hours in. Look, it was Biden with 80 and Trump with 48.
So first of all, everybody knew that that Florida was going to be the problem child. It's a very close call. As Andrea was mentioning earlier, that the Latino vote is not monolith.
Okay, let's see here. This is
to call. We've been watching it very closely. That's another one that the Democrats had hoped to flip.
We've been keeping a big eye on Ohio as well. 60% in their 18 electoral votes. That's too early to call right now. And Georgia as well. This is another state that Joe Biden has tried to add to the expanded map. Too early in Georgia.
The map's starting to fill out a little bit, but we've got the big remaining questions. I don't believe we've yet to call a battleground, Chuck. So
well, we haven't, and we certainly haven't.
This is the most replayed portion.
A lot of money spent in that race, but right now too early to call. But Graham leads.
Same story up in Maine. It's a two-way race right now, essentially between Senator Collins, the incumbent, and Sarah Gideon. Although there are other candidates and they have ranked choice voting, so I'll just cut to the chase. It could be a while in Maine. It's not going to be tonight.
That's what you could say. Not tonight.
Okay, so go Betty bye if you're waiting for Maine. Mississippi Senate is too early to call there. Mike Espy, the congressman, trying to take on the incumbent.
If you're just now joining us, we're listening to the 2020 election.
Yes, this is not. This is literally a repeat of the 2020, just to see kind of where they were at this point in time.
That's one that folks had their eyes on, potential Republican pickup. We'll see if that holds. Here's Minnesota. A lot of talk about Minnesota tonight. It is too early to call. Let's go to the Iowa Senate race. Another one where Joni Ernst, the incumbent, looking to hang on against a challenger, Teresa Greenfield.
They weren't calling many of them, were they? Because there was 42% in, and it was too early to call.
41-40 seats for the Republicans.
All right, this was the one I just assigned to Chuck Todd. Nebraska, projected winner of 3 of 5 electoral votes. Do I have that right? That's what it
right
says.
now, right.
Yes.
Well,
you're awaiting the congressional district.
Well, there's 2, right. So that sounds like we're not ready to call the first either, which would be Lincoln, but that's going to probably be Republican. But Omaha is the second congressional district. Polls.
That was.
So do they split electoral votes in some states? I guess they do.
Yeah. Yep.
It looks like Maine has a split. And Nebraska has a split. Okay. Interesting.
Mississippi back in 2020 was 60% for Trump, 38% for Biden. North Carolina went to Trump. Oh, look. A friendly reminder of 2020.
Oh, yeah. There's that mask.
So that was... it seems like they were a little less quick on the draw back in 2020 to call And especially for some of these that were 42% reporting already.
Yeah.
Back to 2024. Everybody is still at 2020. No, here we are back in 2024. This is
No, if at all the former president Donald Trump is elected to power, what does this mean for India, given his very strategic
Why are we
outreach?
listening to India? Is the News 18 in India? Is that the deal? They have to be.
I think.
Why do you hate the Indians so much?
No, I'm just.
Things that you're seeing does not.
Seems a little weird to me that there would be a.
Because these
Why do you not like Harsh Shringla?
are the battleground
Yeah, that.
states, and I think what's important is Pennsylvania.
That's a he, not a that.
him.
where
Okay.
Kamala Harris
He's a former envoy to the United States.
and Michigan, I think. So I think having said that, let's come down to the question at hand. I think obviously the U.S. elections is very important for a close strategic partner like India. We are so interlinked in many ways to the U.S. economy in terms of investments, technology.
Here in, you know what they call Texas Instruments here in Texas, right? TI,
TI?
Tiny India.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There are a lot of Indian people working there. There's a big Indian population in Texas, and especially around here. If you like curry and dryer sheets, you'll love living in an apartment in Dallas. You will.
As far as Trump making America great again and Modi's emphasis on India first, both of them having very similar interests as far as...
because they want their first daughter to win. Or do they?
Yeah.
A lot of people claiming her. Let's see, West Virginia's looks like it's going to Trump. They've already called that. It's hard to know what they have and haven't called. So there's the map down at the bottom. So far, most of the West Coast, most of the East Coast is in.
Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia haven't been called yet. Maine hasn't been completely called yet, but almost everything else has been. And it's all primarily blue, but 74% in Georgia, 52% Trump. So they're going to wind up calling Georgia for Trump. North Carolina is the same, 55%. They're going to wind up calling it for Trump. Virginia, 56% in. He's at 50%. Hers at 48%. So that one's still close. Now Pennsylvania is still open yet, but that's going to go blue. That's
Phil Bell is charging his phone. He'll be available soon.
Okay.
So we're waiting on him. So is anything a surprise so far? Not really.
No.
No major surprises. It's all kind of going along as it should. Yeah. Let's see. I'm sending Phil a text. New York Times. What'd they say? New York Times did what? They just projected something. New York Times forecast leans toward Trump win. Overall? Nah. New York Times. Nah. Really? Somebody get the phone. Let's see. Where's the New York? There it is right there. Yeah. Election live. According to the New York Times, first states report presidential calls breaking as expected. So it's all kind of so far. Voting is wrapped up in all but one battleground state. Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona.
Arizona's
Nevada
not done yet. Yeah.
No. But the polls in Nevada will close at 10 Eastern. It's coming up here in about 25 minutes. Your usual bomb threats.
Washington,
Let's
Oregon,
see.
California, they don't close till 11 Eastern. Alaska's 1 a.m. Eastern. Hawaii is 12 a.m. Eastern. They don't have Alaska and Hawaii. They only have 7 numbers between them, so probably not going to be a concern. Although Washington and California and Arizona, if they go blue, I don't remember what Washington was last year, but if Arizona and California go blue, that's 65 electoral votes. Just those 2 states.
According to the New York Times, their little needle thingy, which I guess is a thing with them, is leaning toward. Put that. Here it is. Right there. Their little is their little needle thingy a thing?
Leaning Trump.
Yeah. Is 69% chance of victory for Donald Trump. Surprised?
Can't imagine people at the New York Times are happy with the needle right now.
All right, so let's say what did we decide on the if he wins? Then can they sentence him?
Somebody said if he wins, I can't remember now. I think if he lost, they likely would not sentence him.
Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Karen Friedman Agnifio, a former top official there, said if he loses the election, I think he gets sentenced. I think he gets sentenced to prison. If he wins, I don't think this thing goes forward. A victory on election day, she added, is his get out of jail free card.
Well, I can see that.
Can you?
Yeah, I mean,
that seems backwards to me.
I would almost think, literally, that either way they're not gonna sentence him to jail. That's just me. And the reason I say that is because presidential elections, because of the way presidents operate, and I get that people hate them, but there's going to be one person that makes a call, likely, for whether or not they want the DOJ to pursue him further if he loses, and that's going to be Kamala. She'll lean heavily. Now, she could very well say, yep, sentence him, let's do it. But my guess is that once it's all said and done and he loses, if he loses, they're going to want to wipe the slate clean so nobody ever has to hear his name again. Because if he goes to court and gets sentenced, he's going to be in the news, taking every news headline for weeks.
Right. According to Nate Cohn at the New York Times, might well come down to Pennsylvania. She has the early lead there, but the race will tighten when the more Republican Election Day votes start to come in. Every county that has reported at least 95% of its expected vote in Florida has shifted right compared with 2020.
Looks like they're going to call North Carolina for Trump.
Let's see. Results just beginning to come in from Kent County, Michigan. It flipped to Joe Biden in 2020 as traditionally Republican.
Where was? What did?
Grand Rapids.
Oh.
Kent County. And again, it was 17 minutes ago that they said for the first time tonight, our estimates indicate that the race leans toward Donald Trump. He's narrow but clear favorite to win Georgia and North Carolina. If he carries those states, Harris will probably need to sweep Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin to win. Which
she is in the lead with 18% in Wisconsin. She is in the lead with 53% and 12% in Michigan. And what's the other one? Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah. You said Michigan, Wisconsin, and what?
Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. She's likely to win all three of those. It could change, because 12% doesn't tell you jack shit right now. It's still pretty close.
Right.
We're only talking about less than 1 million votes in Michigan right now, and about the same in Wisconsin right now. Both of them are leaning her direction, including Pennsylvania.
Okay, so what happens in D.C.? When do the riots start?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think the if they're going to be riots, they're going to start the first time a news station predicts he's over 270.
Likely.
I mean, because you really don't know until then, right?
No.
I mean, he's been in the Electoral College lead, but most Republican presidents are, for the most part, in the lead throughout the majority of the voting, and that's because the blue states are few and far between when you look at the map.
See, over at ABC, it looks like she'll get Pennsylvania.
Does not do well here. It could impact his race as well.
Let's swing it out to Matt Gutman, who's on the ground in Pennsylvania. Matt, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing that it looks like Senator Casey has a very good chance here. I mean, from the beginning,
that's a nice
Governor
suit.
Josh Shapiro and others have told me that he is the most likely to win here. His father was a governor. He is the scion of a very famous family here, also from Scranton, like former President Biden. And McCormick's got a big knock against him, and that is that he hasn't really lived in the state. He lives mostly in Connecticut, and that is something that apparently has affected voters here. Now, there's another thing I want to talk about.
That's another thing about politics in general. People who just want to be politicians they want to be, if they think they can get elected in Pennsylvania, which again was never the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
I think I can get elected in Arizona, so I'll get a house there and I'll spend some of my time there, and then I'll run for Congress in Arizona. Which, again, there's a lot of things that the government was not supposed to be that it is.
Happening again already. But this time, they aim to do it much more quickly. They have more voting machines, although they still are not allowed to pre-process the mail-in ballots until 7 a.m. on Election Day. But the state funding that goes to the counties that's tied to their election funding stipulates that they cannot stop counting once they have started until they are completely done. So they've got rotating crews going round the clock to count the votes. Most of the counties tell me they hope to have it done at some point tomorrow afternoon. One thing to look at is Erie County. At last glance, they have about only 1% in. Officials there telling me there is massive voter turnout. And because there was a snafu with their mail-in ballots, the vendor sent them to the wrong addresses. Some people didn't get them. I was told that counting the mail-in ballots could take an additional days, possibly even weeks. So that could take a long time. And of course, Erie County is a pivotal swing county that has swung from side to side over the past several elections, David.
Yeah, one of those boomerang counties we're going to be watching very closely, Erie up in the northwestern part of Pennsylvania. Matt, thanks so much. Let's go to the wall here. You can see the three blue wall states right up there right now. Kamala Harris with a lead early in the night in all three of those states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, all about the same margin, by the way, 52 to 47 Pennsylvania, a similar lead in Michigan, and with 18% of the vote in Wisconsin, 51-47. Lindsay, I know we're getting some exit poll data from voters, how independents are breaking in these so-called three blue wall states, or Rust Belt states as they're called.
And obviously the independent voter, highly coveted by both campaigns. It's not voting so well for Kamala Harris for those independent voters in Pennsylvania. You see 24% of those voters, pretty significant amount, about a quarter of those voters in Pennsylvania identify as independent, and they are breaking by 6 points for Donald Trump. He actually is doing 6 points better this election than he did in 2020. But Michigan and Wisconsin, a little bit more hope for the Harris campaign.
Why? I hate to get hopeful. Doesn't it feel weird to be hopeful?
It feels weird to be hopeful, yes.
Which is really strange. But again, it's we all went to bed in 2020 on election night, and we're like, hey, This thing's in the bag. And then it turned out the bag had a big hole in the bottom of it. So
very tight and a long way to go. I mean, that is the message coming out of the Harris campaign tonight. I think they are encouraged and buoyed by what they are seeing in Pennsylvania. I think, when it comes to Georgia, I'm hearing that they are pointing particularly to the suburban support that they're getting there. They say they are tracking slightly above expectations among suburban early voters in Georgia. They also are pointing to the rural turnout in Georgia. They say they're not seeing signs of some surging rural turnout. They, of course, are waiting for results from those larger rural counties. But look, they have said all along their most straightforward path is to win the blue wall states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. They have put a lot of energy and effort into those 3 states. But again, they always said this was going to be a tight race that was going to be won in the margins.
John.
So we'll see. Hopefully we'll hear from Phil Bell here in just a couple minutes. He was charging his phone. Understandably, his phone was running on fumes. So we'll see what he has to say about all of this. And let me get back to the CNN page with the updates. 21 new updates. Hang on a second. Let's see if anything is. Trump spoke briefly with his supporters at Mar-a-Lago. Harris is still very likely to speak tonight. Really? That'll be fascinating. Gwinnett County experiencing significant delays in reporting results due to adjudication software.
Yep.
Why can they not get the computer stuff right? It seems, how many years now? Harris wins New York. That's the CNN projection. Arizona judge rules to keep Arizona's Apache County open until 9 o'clock.
Be right back.
After voting issues. Harris currently carrying Latino voters by a narrower margin than Biden. Is that surprising? And Harris wins Illinois. That's the CNN projection, and Rhode Island. So, just out of curiosity, what is Bitcoin going up or down at this point? Going up considerably. Fascinating. All right. Harris likely. I can't wait to see what she might have to say. Because I can't imagine. I can't imagine what they'd be putting in the prompter. And still Washington, D.C. is not on fire. So that's good news. Over on the, DeGare Bear says they call Texas for Trump. Yep. Remember, the polls always underestimate Trump by 5 to 8%. Yeah. Stinky Biscuit, you haven't checked in the, is D.C. on fire yet? No, it's there's the Watergate complex. Nothing seems to be on fire in D.C. just yet. Free-range prisoner, it's getting close to bedtime. 3 a.m. comes early. Tell me about it. I went to bed in 2020 very confident. Then when I woke up, I was put into shock. I pray it doesn't happen again. See y'all in the a.m. I totally agree. We're going to probably hang around for another 10 minutes because I don't think we had any delusions that we were going to see any definitive results tonight. So, pickled squirrel, best line of the night from Real Brad Staggs. What's up with all the curry?
Yep.
It was a legitimate question. Trump odds on the poly market, 78% are now higher than they were after the Biden debate. Really? Interesting. Okay. Again, I don't know. It looks good.
Yeah.
But who's to say?
Still on the Electoral College for Fox, it's still 117 to 195. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit coming in.
Bill says he's ready.
Okay. So you got to call yourself.
No, or he can call.
Either one, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, he can do his normal thing or he can call in. on his cell?
It's the usual number, right?
Yeah, if he wants to call in on his cell, or he can call your cell number like he did before.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's going to appear on your end there here in just a second.
Okay.
If not, if that doesn't work, he can just logging on.
I'll let you know.
All right. All right. So DC's not on fire. That's a good thing. Capitol over here. What were we looking at her for? U.S. Capitol Hill live. That was just a repeat of something. There's the White House blowing up from Independence Day. There's the booze. And nothing new over on ABC, which again is a little concerning. So we should be popping in there at any point.
Okay.
Oh man, the Tobys are going to the casino.
Yeah, I saw that.
I want to go to the
they
casino.
voted, and then decided, got to go to the casino while we're out here. So
I would much rather be sitting in front of a video poker machine. Takes your mind off things, like Rogan said.
Do you like video poker?
I love video poker.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've never been
You
a fan of
sit
the
there and-
video machines. I always,
Why?
I don't know.
You take $100, you can sit there. If you do it right, you can sit there for days. If you do it right. See, is he in there
He's
yet?
not yet. He appears to be having some kind of problem getting in, but there he is.
Men.
We've got you,
Men,
Phil.
am I
Stand
right?
by, okay? Stand by, buddy. All right, he's in. All right.
Let's bring him in.
Here you go. Hey, Phil.
DC correspondent.
How's
Phil
it going?
Bell, where are you, Phil?
I'm in Holland,
Oh, it's-
Michigan. Yeah, right downstairs from
Holland,
the victory
Michigan.
party. Yeah, Congressman Bill Huizenga. He's having his victory party upstairs in the hotel. I'm down here because this is where it's quiet because it's too much pandemonium up there.
Well, all right. So tell us, I mean, so far, this seems unremarkable to me.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've seen so far in the election that stands out that is unusual?
Yeah, so two things. Number one, it's been the real lack of enthusiasm and lack of, I guess, a lot of talking with definitive numbers and the like coming from the Democrats. They've been, if you really look closely, what they've been doing is talking a lot about what they feel, how they feel, but they haven't been targeting any kind of pinpoint areas to say, look, this is where we're doing really well. But what you've seen a very big on the conservative side is a lot of our people coming out and saying, look, you're seeing positive numbers coming in specific parts of Arizona, specific parts of Georgia, specific parts of North Carolina. That says something. Number two, look at who decided that he is not going to the Kamala Harris victory party tonight. And that would be none other than Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who very well is going to be something like 2 blocks away, could go to the party, but at least at this point has said that he is not going to do that, and they made sure to put that out. Now, you've got to think about these are the people who not only engineered the steal, but they also have a very, very adept group of political advisors who are talking to them. Why in the world would Joe Biden not want to be at their victory party? Or why would they telegraph that if it was something like him not feeling well or otherwise? So those are two things that really, to me, bode well. And let me add one more just because you made me think of it. Right now, Decision Desk HQ, whoever they are, they have called the Commonwealth of Virginia for Kamala Harris. However, if you look at the actual numbers, it is continuing to go in Donald Trump's favor. Now, I do not know which specific parts of the state that they are, but it is starting to get a substantial number of returns. So I would watch Virginia. I think Decision Desk was a little early in doing what they're doing, but the fact that they're still so close right now is a very positive thing.
It looks like as of right now, 60% of the vote count is in Virginia. Trump is at 50.05%, Harris at 48.27. It looks like about 50,000 votes between them.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's significant. And
I was going to
now,
say, we
what
also
I
have our
saw-
DC live cam up, and DC is not on fire yet. So, so far, it's
Look.
not on fire.
Here's the thing. DC being on fire would not be the worst thing. It just depends on what they want to burn down. Now, if you are truly angry, and I want to speak to Antifa and any domestic terrorists out there in the event that President Trump wins, and you're angry and you really, really want to stick it to the man, I want you to go out and light the IRS headquarters on fire. I mean, that will really stick it to Donald Trump. He won't be able to collect any money to do things like keep America great. No. So you start right there. And second, if you see a speed camera or a red light camera, you knock that thing over, because that's how the man keeps you down. That's what you should do. And Black Lives Matter Plaza, if you're really upset, why don't you just deface that? I'm just saying. I mean, if I were an Antifa and I were angry, that's what I would be doing. Same.
Go peel out on it a few times. All right. So do you, this feels a lot like 2020. We actually watched some of the footage back from 2020, and it did feel a lot like this, like, well, everything's just kind of going the way and then, you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and you get hit by the truck in the face, because it's like, what the hell happened after I went to bed? Is there going to be any of that tonight? I mean, we're still looking at what, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona. What's the other one? Wisconsin?
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. So here's why I think things are going to be a little bit different. First of all, before we factor in the shenanigans that happened with a lot of the ignored vote process changes, and then of course the illegal activities, before we get there, let's remember that 2020 was a COVID election. And COVID was a very big wild card that the left and the elites were able to play. And that meant that you were turning people who ordinarily looked at themselves as being conservative into being afraid. You looked at people who ordinarily looked at themselves as being fair-minded and willing to consider both sides into being afraid. And so when they're afraid, they're going to do different things. And one of the things that they did is they looked at us on our side, and they were afraid of freedom. They were afraid, and regardless of what we said, they were afraid that the freedom that we were talking about, that President Trump was talking about, was going to ultimately lead to them possibly becoming sick or dying. And while I think they were way off base on that, that is the way that they were voting. So I think a lot of that has changed between then and now. Now we're talking about a more traditional election where one of the biggest issues is the economy. And hey, look no further than Florida, where you had an abortion amendment fail, which very well could have liberalized abortion there in the state of Florida. And you also had Rick Scott, who was thought to be maybe not in trouble, but definitely likely to be in a close race, win convincingly. So that's why I think we're not talking about a 2020 election. I think we're talking about a pre-2008 election, which is what I'm hoping for.
All right, so you don't see anything weird happening between now and tomorrow with the count or the, God, I don't even know what else they could. They came up with weird crap last time. So do you think there's any of that to be that we should watch out for between now and tomorrow morning? Are we going to know tomorrow morning or tonight who the winner is, or are there enough question marks still?
I think by tomorrow morning we should have an idea of who the winner is, something that we could convincingly say this is who I think is going to be the president, even if you might have some news organizations, continuing to kvetch about it. What I do think in terms of your shenanigans, illegal activities, ballot dumping, that kind of thing, I do believe there's going to be some of that. I mean, let's remember, I do not believe that there was a coordinated effort in 2020 from the standpoint of getting all the leftists together in a room, or leftist leaders like Soros and the rest of them, and saying, hey, let's go ahead and steal it. I think they had a small number of people that said, hey, let's go ahead and steal it. And they were able to get people who were ordinarily going to do illegal things to do more illegal things on a greater scale. And that's how they achieved it. And that is a dramatic difference between having a basically army style where everybody gets together and says, this is how we're going to proceed. So I don't think that they are going to be as eager to steal an election for somebody like Kamala Harris, because remember, Joe Biden has been an invalid for a long time. I don't think he's completely out of it, but he's been an invalid. So he was much more controllable than Kamala Harris can be. And I got to be honest with you, if you're going to go commit a crime, don't commit a crime for somebody who can't be challenged. And the president of the United States, if it becomes Kamala Harris, is not going to be able to be challenged by people who committed illegal activities. So I don't think that they are going to steal with the gusto. And I also think that a lot of what we've done to get low propensity voters out and get people to understand the differences between the elites and the patriots has driven up our turnout. And the fact we've got the Tulsi Gabbards, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s, the Joe Rogans, and so forth on our side is going to help make it too big for them to rig, because they're going to rig it, but I think we're going to come out on top despite that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see. Phil Bell, thank you. Anything you want to add that you haven't added already?
Look, I just want to thank everybody out there. I know for the last really year, we've talked about this election. I know on the morning updates and on Freedom Fridays, I've given a lot of admonitions. Hey, do this, do that. Let's get out the vote. Let's so on. I want to thank each and every person out there who took the time to listen to that and act on it. That really means something. Even if we come up short tonight, that is good, because we have set the stage for America's comeback. Now, we all want it to start today, and I hope and I'm confident it will, but let's now go the next mile and get active at our local level, which I'm going to do. I'm derelict about, but I'm going to do it. County commission, city commission, you name it. Let's snuff a lot of this stuff out at the lowest level so that we never, ever have to worry about somebody like crazy, kooky Kamala or having to rely on people like lockdown Larry Hogan to save our bacon. That's a terrible state to be in. And doing what I'm talking about now will prevent us from having to worry about that in the future.
Amen, brother. Phil Bell in Michigan. Get them before they get you. And thanks for taking time out tonight to talk to us. And we'll keep an eye on DC and make sure that it. Now, if it does catch on fire, we'll at least watch it burn.
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything we can do to put it out, but
if it does, that might create some new area that we could build a new train station. We could be doing our podcast from the new Phil Rail train station on the side of the old IRS building. And Tifa, you can help me out here, guys. Just saying.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right, buddy. Be
Thanks,
safe
Phil.
out there. We'll
see you, buddy.
We'll talk again tomorrow. All right. Phil Bell, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking on the website. Where is our address on the website? I'm not looking in the right place.
I don't know if it's on this website or not. I'll have to go look.
Okay.
Yeah. But Utah and Montana have both been called for Trump.
All right. So
he's at 205 now to her 117.
Feeling about the way I did in 2020.
I know, dude. Same with me. Same with me.
I don't know what the hell's going to happen, but I think we beat this horse as much as we can. We're like the lazy horse. Remember the lazy horse this morning? It wouldn't,
yeah.
It just lay down and faint anytime somebody got on its back. So, all right, everybody, go to bed, get some rest. We'll see if the world's still on fire in the morning after we get some sleep. And
are you calling it, Brad?
Yeah. I don't know what else. I mean, there's.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't think we're going to learn anything fabulous tonight.
I agree with you. It's just watching the stuff across the states and seeing what happens. There's your corny music.
There we go. There we
go. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And are we back in the morning?
Why wouldn't we be?
Exactly.
I mean, unless we're in jail.
No, that's why we wouldn't be. But I'm good.
That's a good point. Put a nipple on this stuff.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Thanks, y'all. See you.